Hello, this is the voice of Joe Corneli, and you see the screen share of Charlotte Pierce over there in the Boston area and just north of London in the UK. Spring has arrived here. I don't know about where you are. Earthquakes in Kathmandu, but my aunt is doing okay, I've heard.
Good. Yeah, I heard from all five of my friends. So
Wow, scary stuff up there. It was an anxious weekend. And anyway, so we are going to look up. Charlotte's just appeared. Hi, Charlotte. We were going to look at this Authoria doc, the Peeragogy pattern catalog this week, I guess. Seeing as how there's no one else here, that's what I'm interested in. And
just wanted to mention that Julia Echevarria had sent around a link and wanted people to take week 0 of the minimal MOOC.
Yeah.
And give feedback. So
cool.
If anybody wants that link, if you're interested in trying the minimal MOOC, you can stop by our Google Plus page or email peeragogy@gmail.com.
Cool. Yeah. Yeah, we can maybe even check it out towards the end of this. But anyway, the deadline of this is pressingly 1 week from today. So we'll have another chance to do a meeting, I suppose, and then submit. So we're really close to the end. So Charlotte, I will guide you by voice. You're seeing the new bullet points in the introduction, which I just put together out of an email exchange yesterday. Obviously, we're going to have to smooth that out to make it prose. But to sum up, yeah, that sums up what we're doing in this document. So we're writing it for a group of people who already know what design patterns are, but they do not know what peeragogy is. So this introduction is really meant to explain how
for a conference. I'm sorry.
Yeah, so this is an interesting setup that starts out as a conference, although it's a somewhat non-traditional one. They basically will take our paper if we're accepted and workshop it at the conference. So it's for a conference in the in Illinois, and then after we make it through that experience, then we could submit a revised version to a journal. So it's a kind of continuous upgrade process if we're accepted to that.
And will Charlie be able to attend that?
He hasn't confirmed it, but I hope he would be able to because it's in his state. Yeah. And it's not until September, so it's a bit difficult to plan it anyway. But I suppose it's vaguely conceivable I would be able to go, but quite unlikely. I'm already going to the U.S. It looks like twice in the next few months, so a third trip is not possible. But you never know. So anyway, yeah, I think Charlie could go. I would be sad if I miss it because it seems like a really interesting experience of presenting the work and getting feedback on it from people who are good at presenting structured information. Okay.
And is that information on the conference on our Google Calendar?
Is it? I don't know. I don't think so.
I thought it was.
Maybe it is. That's a good question. I'll put that in the chat. So info on Google Calendar.
So the pattern catalog, these are things that help us succeed at our pedagogical enterprises, hopefully succeed.
Yes, and I think I've narrowed down the list. Someplace I don't see it on the screen now, but someplace on this page there may be a sort of index. Although if it's not appearing, usually it floats around with you. So but
a folder history chat.
Yeah. No, I think it would be off to the left. For some reason, it's not magically appearing.
Okay.
Let me see if I have one on mine. Yeah, I would have one on mine. Sometimes if the window is not super duper wide, maybe that's it.
My window is super wide.
Weird.
Chat. Is it in the settings to turn it on or something?
I don't think so. But it's no great loss. I can read what it is, and it's just the list of them. Just the list of them. So
you can cheat by reading it and sound really on top of everything.
Yes. Let me see if I can split the screen, then I can look at my cheat sheet while we're talking. Move to new window. Okay. So yeah. So the But now it's too narrow. So
You should have 3 screens like me.
I need 3, but yes, yours is okay. It has to become okay. Your window is now micro, but don't worry, I can see what you're doing. Yeah, so we have an introduction, which is the newest section, needs the most work, and at the same time, I defer working on it till a bit more of the content is there. So then the next one is the Peeragogy project, which has now been structured as a design pattern. This one has gotten probably the most feedback from Lisa and Paula, both kind of gave it a good once over recently, and it's been improved since then. But I don't claim it's perfect, but basically it's explaining, in a sense, this is the only part of it that we really need. This is this section 2 explains what the project is all about. Oh, hello, Dorukshi.
Oh, Dorukshi, hi. Maybe she's just listening. She often has trouble with the
microphone. Well, I'm glad to know
she is in, for those of you who don't know, Dorukshi is in Sri Lanka and has been very involved in the minimal MOOC and this paper as well, I think.
Not yet, but can be.
Oh, okay.
Somehow I think she and I were missing alternate weeks, so.
Oh, yeah. All right. Well, type it in, Dorukshi, and if we catch it while you're, we'll voice your question.
Yeah, and we can add this link, maybe since you're new, let me just add a link to the chat one more time so you can follow along with what Charlotte is doing there. So you should be able to at least see that, and I can add you as an editor, co-author, if you're interested, just let me know. Okay, so yeah, Peeragogy project, like I was saying, this one here, section 2, basically explains what the Peeragogy project is all about, and Charlotte has, I think, sensibly clicked into that and could start making some edits if we want to edit.
So we added in the coding part, a coded part, sort of.
Yeah, it's just LaTeX markup. Yeah.
Okay.
I thought you and Charlie were interested to learn LaTeX, so I thought this is the
absolutely. This is all. I'm running into so many Peeragogy things in my life lately. It's like all these little different ways of approaching learning.
I can see already a typo, which I think my thing didn't have the spell checker, so you can fix the British
interpretation.
Yeah, that's like a Texas, I think. Combine everywhere where I've lived into some one.
Are we going with English spellings?
No, delete. It's an American conference, so we'll change it back. This you can tell now how long I've been living here because I started.
Yeah, you've converted. You're in the old country.
Yeah.
Emphasis. Okay.
Yeah, so I added emphasis for the what are those things called? To refer to the other patterns or any name of a pattern, and I'm presenting the Peeragogy project as a pattern with the idea that someone else, if they want to run their own Peeragogy project, maybe they would call it something else, but they could run their own one. So, just as an example, if I know Dorukshi was saying we should have separate meetings for the minimal MOOC, fine, I think we could easily, and if people were showing up at the right times and made the schedule, we could. That includes me, of course. I need to be a bit more involved. You don't have to change those. You can. The double dashes mean something to LaTeX.
Sorry.
It's okay. You don't have to change them back either. But
no, I don't want to mess with anything.
No, they're just you're changing them, I think, for stylish reasons, but they become longer dashes when.
Oh, good. Okay.
Whereas the short ones are just little dashes.
Now I've learned even more.
You can't hear. Oh no, can't hear.
Can't hear anyone talking. You might have us muted.
Yeah. We can.
She might not have the right speaker system.
Yeah, I don't know. Could be. Anyway, so okay, so yes, like I'm saying, so if we were ever to run another Peeragogy project, this would explain a bit about what we're doing. Basically, we're using the pattern catalog to write down what we learn as we go, and this document is like, I think, sort of a best of. I think it's not all the patterns. As I was saying, I was going to read through the index.
And is it okay if I change double spaces to single?
Yeah, that's not, that's,
Yeah.
um,
Because
yeah,
they'll.
yeah, if you see any typos, then for sure. And I think that the questions about this are like, does it adequately explain what we're doing in the project? I think I'm feeling pretty confident about it.
Yeah, I mean, I like the specific, more specific, the better.
Yeah. Yeah. And so this I think the diagram that's right below it is probably going to have to change as well, because we've changed, I think, okay, so if you press save and close anything you've changed, and you can just do what you did to click in there and edit again if you want to.
Okay, yeah, I didn't even realize I had done that. So this is,
There you go.
yeah. Okay, now we are down.
You double click on any of the sections that
Oh, okay. Oh, got it. Yeah. Okay.
but not delete.
No, I want to leave it out. Yeah.
So yeah, so this diagram, well, you're familiar because it's been in our book probably for a couple of days running. I think I'm going to move the 4 things: assess, cooperate, convene, organize to the edges maybe, and try to explain the connections a little bit better. But I don't know.
So I would like to see it like that. So those big things in the outside, and then the other stuff coming in, so that it's sort of a womb of sorts.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I think what's interesting or what's special about our way of going about this pattern catalog is we're not really top-down planning. It's more like bottom-up growing, and I think that's really exciting. Like,
yeah.
That if you look, for example, if you were to skip, if you feel like it, all the way to the very end, the last thing is the distributed roadmap, which is kind of a recap of all of the what's next steps. Just above that, sorry. Yeah. Yeah. So Charlie and I were talking about that over the weekend.
So you got your little pet roadmap in there, Joe.
Yes.
We love your roadmap.
Yeah. Well, I was really, with Charlie, I was really criticizing the Peeragogy.org roadmap. If you look back at that, it looks like such wishful thinking. Instead of saying, oh, we need a volunteer for this or a volunteer for that. And it's just not going to happen like that. So I think this thing becomes kind of a new roadmap that's much less silly, I hope. I think we were really strongly critiquing the things you're just seeing here. So you'll see these things all need critiquing, and Charlie and I have these notes, which we sent out.
This user make, I think, is a little, it's hard for people to get just at a glance. I mean, if you're focusing on it, you get it. But, just like user make, I mean, to us, it's deep in the project, it makes a lot of sense. But
yeah, I think Charlie prioritized that. I think he said it was a key thing, which is why I put it second on or it's section 4 now, but it's the second pattern up above. So
yeah, no, I agree. But yeah.
But indeed, to explain it better. So let me see if I can find the
how do I? I can do this. Can I put a comment in here?
Sure. Yeah. If you put if you want something that will never be seen and it's just like a secret comment, type a % symbol.
Oh, okay.
Then whatever.
Just anywhere or?
Yeah. On a blank line. Yeah. Type one there. Yeah. Perfect.
Okay. User make. Okay. %.
And then.
And then lingo is obscure. How about that?
Cool. Yeah. Yeah, so we could even consider renaming it. Yeah. Yeah, so let me look at I have my notes here from the comment I was making on that pattern.
Authoria is really nice.
It's pretty easy. I thought that, it would be potentially even easier to work with than the
Google Docs.
What's the other thing we use? WordPress. You know, because
Oh yeah,
when
really?
when it saves it, then like no further processing is needed at all to something.
You don't have to upload or publish or anything.
Right, yeah. And you can also access the same content from Git, which would be
Mm-hmm.
for another session, I think. But you know, it's a kind of nice, cheap and easy thing. Plus, I have a friend who works at the company, so it's not open source. That's the downside. But
Yeah.
they use a bunch of open source products, so I don't know. Maybe that kind of offsets it. But anyway, yeah, we were talking quite a bit about this user make. Would you like to just dive into that a bit?
Sure.
Okay.
Hmm.
If you want to scroll all the way up to the bigger expanded edition rather than this.
Okay. So use for this one.
Yes, that one. Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
So
So yeah, let's see. Can I read it and then maybe something
sure.
will. Peer production, as the name indicates, is about making stuff. And making stuff can be fun and worthwhile, but we should also ask ourselves, how much new stuff do we really need? Is there something around that we could already use? There's not a hard and fast answer to this question.
Okay, so I'm gonna just while you read, I'm gonna just change some of the things.
And you're not including learning in this?
Okay, so hold on. You're saying sensible things. I'm gonna take notes on what you're saying. So,
Okay, problem. Usually we end up working at both levels. For example, writing something new in using an existing wiki, or creating a piece of software that builds on someone else's API. Sometimes we have to dig deeper and recreate a system in a more bottom-up fashion. The main issue at stake is to try to become clear where you do and do not need to start from scratch, and also be aware of the fact that we almost never really start from scratch. That is so true. This is a wordy here, but
yeah,
let me see.
yes. Or did you say the whole thing is wordy?
No, I mean, I think it's getting there. To try to, where is it? Oh, why can't I?
Because I'm in there. So
Oh, I
I'm
see.
gonna save it in a second. Then so this is not like the really real time thing. It's like
I see. Yeah.
yeah. Um,
I mean, you can go ahead and do it if you have a.
but
So the main issue at stake is to try to become clear about, that's a lot of words for
okay,
us.
let's just get rid of it. Where is it? Problem. Or if that is the main issue, then maybe yeah.
It's not
Okay.
at stake. I mean, an issue is always at stake, so you could do without that.
I'm gonna just delete that sentence, and we'll see. We can always rewrite it a little bit, so I'm deleting it for now.
Yeah.
When
you could say, when is the appropriate time to start from scratch?
Yeah.
Or do you really need to start from scratch? I mean, there is something kind of meta about we almost never really need to start from scratch.
Yeah, so I've just changed it out. Did it magically appear? Yes, it did. Wow, good for you. I think so. Cool. That's so it's a little bit better in the sense that I did a little bit of work. So so yeah, let's.
But I think the awareness of not needing to start from scratch. I mean, that's kind of an ancillary problem.
Right.
But it is an issue to be mindful of.
Yeah, it's a tricky one. So okay, so let's start from the very beginning, the context again. Pure production, as the name indicates, is about making stuff, and making stuff can be fun and worthwhile, but we should also ask ourselves, how much new stuff do we really need? Well, it's not quite the context. So what is the context? Basically, yes, we're doing pure production, so that's important.
Right.
But
breaking out of our existing modes of feeling like we need to start from scratch or make new stuff. How do we don't really know how to look at what is there and remix it and respect the work of others and not, I mean, that's sometimes a problem, or a context.
Yeah. So, but context is quite simple. Pure production means making stuff, but it also involves building on the work of others. So
Okay, very good. Yeah, that's awesome.
The problem is, like you were just saying, it's
Yeah.
It's like, and this is also a bit wordy, but let me try again. So just what you said, you know, people often.
Joe, you're, yeah, you are.
Too smart. Google is too smart. Projects.
You keep popping in and out of mute status, but maybe.
So horrible. I'm trying to type very quietly.
No, that's all right.
How they can. So specifically, Charlie was talking a lot about like curating. Like, there's so many different things out there we can use. We could use. It's not just the people in the project. We could actually remix anything we wanted from the public domain.
Now, when you're saying use or make pure production, is that making stuff, like physical things?
Well, it's just because the name is production, so we're producing something.
Right.
Maybe
okay.
even more literal.
Okay, the whole thing up here is. Okay.
There. So now it's just even more literal.
Oh, so yeah. So making stuff or products, or making.
Yeah, making stuff.
Am I getting too hung up on that?
Well, we could even just say making. Yeah, making. Well, this is getting back to your issue of the title. So maybe the title should change to reflect produce versus, I'm not sure what. Produce versus. So let's get rid of the stuff, because it.
Okay.
This at least explains what we mean by making.
People often are very.
Nice initiative with your double clicking. That's cool.
Yeah.
It's kind of like a talking stick, you know? It's like, okay, it's like our Hive editing, but without so much buzzing.
Yeah. Not so much distraction of the cursor.
Yeah, you have to think more.
Oh no, people are often very gung ho. Oh, I know. They're often people are often very attached to their own projects.
Yeah. So actually, I'm thinking here's a really interesting example. What we're, not to be too meta, but I think what we're doing now is an interesting chance for us to collaborate on something. So it's like, you know, using this Authoria tool is a way to make LaTeX accessible to someone who doesn't, you know, you don't have to install anything on your computer. You may never have seen it before. You could be editing it and you wouldn't even know you were editing LaTeX until someone told you, because it's more intuitive. So this is a way to use their thing without having to make some other gigantic workflow.
Yeah, I mean, it's the reason a lot of projects just die, because the cost and thought of mounting, you know, reinventing the wheel is just it's prohibitive. You know, it's scary and impossible.
I actually want to write that down right now on the now part. So
Yeah.
reason time.
Yeah, Joe is a little popping in and out of audio, but he will be back.
Clacking, yes, mine. Okay, so
the click clacking causes you to.
I wonder if there's a way to like disable that.
There is. I thought they had taken it off. I know it did.
Okay.
Happen before, but
interesting. I'll research that after the call. Anyway. So yeah, so that's one thing, and I think like building a workflow. We've often thought about like how can we build a workflow? How can we get people involved? And the whole project just becomes exhausting in a way when you think about how much we've got to do. But if we were to think instead about like how can we repurpose?
Oh, I know. I benefit from their connections with others.
Yeah.
Benefit from connecting with others.
Yeah. Yeah. And so let's think about this solution, because I think the learning is the key here.
Yeah, hold on. I'll let you see that. I mean, that's the problem with this, is that you can't see as I'm doing it. And then...
No, I can, because you're screen sharing.
Oh, right. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It only works if I was screen sharing, you could see what I was doing too. So I could. Better than the green cup. Why not? It's going to be.
Yeah. I mean, let's do that. Then people will relate more to a person, and
okay,
we'll switch.
All right. Okay.
Hi,
so here I am. So yeah, same as what you. Except for I've turned mine beige. That was one of the things I did over the weekend. Was I turned the entire internet beige. So that.
Well, there's something meta in that too.
Was a big accomplishment. Yes, I feel like it's a good song lyric. Anyway, so okay, this is not. Yeah, the solution. So how are we going to solve this problem, and how do we solve the problem? I think like that's another thing I wanted to mention about this pattern catalog is I've taken away the anti-patterns. As I was telling Charlie, when I think about them, it makes me feel so negative and so frustrated that I don't even want to think about them right now. I just want to think about our successes, as you were saying, like what are the things that we've figured out.
Yeah.
And I think,
well, they can be somewhere, they don't have to die. They just, it is something to be mindful of.
Yeah, I saved. Don't worry, I've saved them, and I will look at them once before we submit the paper for sure. But for now, they're out of the way. So, use or make. What is the solution? Learning. So let's say, learning.
Learn through remix.
Yeah.
I mean, let's be prescriptive. Let's just go ahead and say that what we think should be done. And let's be mindful of our passive voice too. So.
Yes. Okay. So this is just the first step. So learning actually involves recycling and remixing people's ideas and techniques. So the solution is to master the art of remix. I guess that's what we're claiming. Always remix, never something like that. So that's a bit more active, but probably too simple. Yeah. So what are we trying to explain? We it's a matter of being and doing things in an open source way, and integrating existing projects and workflows into our work. How do we do it? Well, we've tried, but let's see. Problem.
Oh, yeah, you can't see my.
Okay, you were the value of remixing.
That's wordy too.
Yeah, but I think it's also the one thing we've definitely done, and make it possible for other
people doing this.
Definitely done with the open source stuff. We the whole project has been open So okay, I think we're starting to sketch what we've actually done. We've had interesting conversations recently about the role of open source software. Most project participants agree that open source ideals are more important than strictly using open source software for everything. Some feel that it would be best if we create an open source alternative for any proprietary systems we use. The debate has been interesting and largely fruitful, but there's no one right answer to reuse questions. Well, that's a bit too verbose, but it's true. Another thing that we've definitely done this in the project, is we've used every tool that seems useful, and we've sometimes discussed which ones seem most useful and focused as well. But it's not like we've restricted to say, you know, oh, just this one tool. We've been quite willing to try different things. So that's...
Yeah. And I mean, we have stuck with the Hangouts have been really pivotal.
Yeah, that's true.
As a tool, so.
Yeah.
I'm just going to post on the page that we're underway.
Project participants.
Please comment here.
Maybe that's enough rationale. We don't need all this paragraph. Save and close. So okay, what is the resolution one? Now this is a bit tricky. This is a little bit meta. Is what have we achieved by noticing this, and as you're saying, being mindful of it and writing it down as well. So writing this down reminds us to always consider repurposing things.
What do you mean by things?
Okay, so I think maybe I should look at Charlie's notes. I'm turning green again.
Yeah.
Let's go. Okay. So there's a curatorial skill that's particularly important in free software and OER work. Basically, curate as much as you possibly can, it says here. It becomes concrete for us. How can we apply? Okay, here's an interesting thought, a new thought that Charlie suggested. How can we apply the handbook to other projects? So how can we actually make it so that other people will use what we've created, find it useful, rather than, for example, having to make their own process and make their own handbook? I mean, imagine if you had to spend 3 years working on something before you could even get started. It would be too much work. So so can we make the stuff that we have created accessible to other people? Like, for example, maybe the technology section could be really useful for some group, a school or something, who would then want to adopt our stuff. So that's starting to become a pretty good rationale for writing this. Like, if we're aware of reuse and we make that part of what we do, then there's a good chance, better chance, that what we work on will be adopted.
So could we say something like repurposing past projects and resources, or, you know, things instead of things?
Yes. Okay. Oh, I'm still locked in there. Sorry. Repurposing. Yes, and has fruitfully. I was still locked in there. Have a go if you want to.
Okay. I'm not locked in, right? There. Okay. Writing this down. What you mean, this paper, or
just this pattern is what I mean. So writing this pattern is like when we notice the pattern, noticing the pattern of user make, or noticing how difficult it is to remake things every time, and writing it down as a pattern. So what I mean with this resolution section is sort of like, what have we resolved so far just by the fact that we've noticed this pattern? Like, we've already achieved a lot, actually, and we're just trying to recollect and encapsulate what it is that we're now.
Yeah. Does that work for you, that resolution?
Yeah, but I think even more specific to this particular one, it's like writing down our experience, writing down writing down how difficult it is to remake everything every time, realizing how difficult it is to remake everything every time, and writing down the pattern.
Well, you can take it. I've closed out.
Okay, good.
If you want to.
Yeah, fine. I will give it a go.
I mean, I'll turn it back to you. I just noticed that you were off screen share for a while.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Noticing how
You could say going through the process of writing our experiences down.
Oh, okay. So that's really interesting. Is like not only does this pattern remind us, but yes, it is actually every time we do this, every time we write down a pattern, we're spurring ourselves to actually remember what we learned and not have to go through that again. So that's another cool feature.
Yeah, and pass on the experience.
Yeah. Okay, so I think we can get rid of this quote. That's just verbose.
Can you put in leapfrog or something like instead of fruitfully adopt?
Yes, leapfrog as opposed to fruit fly.
Leapfrog over our mistakes or build on our experience. I just like to see a kind of a vivid term there,
Fantastic. Yes, great suggestion.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah. Okay, so yes, so I think these what next platform debates can be frustrating, as mentioned in the newcomer pattern, blah blah blah. More clear picture of the activities that we engage in will help make it comprehensible to others. I don't think any of that quite captures our
Hold on.
theme.
I just changed adopting to incorporating.
I think you're part of a community. Yes.
You keep dropping the screen share. Is that a
weird? It's weird. It's not on purpose. When I change to another window, for some reason it is away. So yes, I need 3 monitors like you have that. Yeah. So if we had, what Charlie said is if we had more groups working on more sections, then the whole project would be much better and more effective. So I can easily imagine like back to our image, like the department of organization, or the department of what are these things from our picture? The department of convening and assessing. Like it. I mean, granted, there's not that many people involved with the project right now, but we could try to get certain pieces adopted. And one of the examples actually was this paper that, like, by focusing on the patterns and like presenting it to this particular community, we will get a bunch of feedback and a bunch of help from them, which we wouldn't be able to come up with ourselves. So maybe there's other parts of the book that we could spin off into something else. So I think that's a good what next step.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Oh, Deborah Gordon. This is NPR story I heard. Why ants don't need a leader. It's really, I just thought Peeragogy, when I was listening to it, I thought I got to get a hold of this woman and tell her about her project. But here it is. It's so cool. Put it in the chat. It's Deborah Gordon. She did a TED talk on what ants teach us about the brain, cancer, and the internet.
Oh, yeah.
The world's largest ant colony stretches over 3,700 miles. It succeeds, biologist Deborah Gordon says, because no one is in charge. The ants communicate with algorithmic patterns to survive and thrive.
Wow, much like us.
And they made this really good connection with, you know, systems like Peeragogy, where it's chaotic, it's messy, it goes nowhere sometimes, but it lurches forward in kind of a wonderful, brilliant way. And you know, in a way that just makes sense because everybody's had a chance to have a voice and contribute.
Yeah. Well, so I'm looking at this. I'm taking a step back from what we've done right so far, and I'm feeling like we've gone through it once. Certainly better than it was before. It's like,
you want to read it again?
Yeah, sure. Okay, so let's see. And if you wanna edit, go ahead. Take notes or change things. But I'll just read through. So the context. Peer production, as the name indicates, is about producing. In other words, making. But it also involves building on the work of others. We're in the context of peer production. Sounds good. Problem. People are often very attached to their own projects and don't have a sense of how the project can benefit from connecting with others.
Or their initiative instead of the project.
Yeah. You want to change it, or are you changing it?
Oh, okay. I can.
Oh, sorry. I was sitting here screen sharing.
No, I can do it.
Okay.
I did it.
Cool.
Oh, their initiative. Do you like that terminology?
Let's see it. I think it's better because it's their own initiatives, maybe with an S.
Their own initiatives, yes. Okay. I mean, words are so important in a way. I mean, it's just like crazy.
Yeah, and how how that could benefit from that looks a bit better. I think so.
Okay.
I think I think it's certainly true. I think the important thing about these patterns is like it has to be true beyond the scope of the Peeragogy project, and I think this is certainly true in my experience of life, like including myself.
Oh, we're just having in an organization I belong to. It's just we're having this very situation go on, and how people are coming up in isolation with initiatives, and they won't let them go. They don't want to let them go. It's like.
Yeah, it's less of an organization maybe than just a collection of people with their own initiatives bashing their heads.
Right. Yeah.
Okay, so let's see if our solution could apply there. Solution: learning actually involves recycling and remixing people's ideas and techniques. Maybe we could just say other ideas and techniques. Beware of the value of remixing and make it possible for other people to remix and adapt your work too. I think
make it possible. Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, I think that's a key part. So I'm going to say, rather than people's ideas, I'll say other ideas and techniques.
Yeah.
Because who knows, maybe we'll remix from ants, for example, and then learn from the ants.
Be aware sort of sounds like beware. In fact, that's how you read it. But be aware of the value of, be mindful of the value of remixing. Mindful. I love mindful. You know, it's just like.
Maybe not every time, but this time.
Yeah, right. Not every time.
Mindful of the value. Okay. Make it possible for other people to remix and adapt your work too. Yeah, which
and
is
don't get your nose in a huff when people do it. Be glad that they're achieving good stuff with their.
Yes, maybe we can even let's put that in. Yes, show appreciation.
Be joyful.
Be mindful, be joyful. Okay. So solution. Okay. So rationale. Many projects die because the cost of reinventing the wheel is too high. We've tried using different tools and have stuck with the ones that work. Okay, let's make it a little bit less specific to us.
Try different tool. Consider different tools, and return to the ones that work, or something like that.
Yeah, that's right. I feel like writing these things could become really addictive. It's a bit of like an endorphin rush, because it's like, yes, it's so right, you know.
I know, and when you have someone good like the two of us, you know, good relationship, and you know, working together, it's just it's so friggin' cool.
So So, okay, projects. Many projects die because the cost of reinventing the wheel is too high. There are lots of tools out there. Consider and try different tools and return to the ones that work. Okay, resolution. Noticing how difficult it is to remake things every time and encapsulating what we observed with the user make pattern reminds us to always consider repurposing the work of others and has spurred us on to think about how others can leapfrog ahead, building on our experiences by incorporating our work. Okay, fair enough. I think that we've certainly learned something, even including in this meeting. I mean, just think about it. This is a good example. Like, I was talking with Charlie yesterday, and we've repurposed a lot of what he said then and improved it. And like, he didn't have to come to the meeting. And next time he gets a hold of it, he'll probably take it ahead in another direction. So we do this all.
Yeah, he's there. He's here with us, in that way. Yeah.
Okay, so what's next? We've spun off the pattern catalog into this paper. So let's be a little bit more clear. What's next? We spun off the pattern catalog from
the Peeragogy handbook.
Say some of those other things. Sharing it with a
new community.
Getting
perspectives instead of ideas.
Yeah, better.
I mean, it's just nice to vary the wording.
Yeah, no, I think you're right. Let's look for other parts of the handbook we can spin off. Yep. Good. I mean, I think I consider this way improved, really ready. Let's send it off to Illinois and see if they like it. No, we've just got to do it with, I think, 9 or 10 other ones.
Instead of getting new perspectives, can you say, oops, I can do it.
You can say, haha.
I can say it. And appreciating or gaining. Yeah.
Gaining, yeah.
Okay. I just so instinctively double click on things. Just grab your.
You're magically. This is a good tool for you. It's a good tool for you.
Yeah.
You can't. I don't think you could. Actually, you could. You could double click on everything, and you could lock it all down. But
yeah.
Much.
Anyway, carrying all the other parts, carrying capacity, and all that is good.
It's the same thing we just did. No, I think all of them except the Peeragogy project and user make, which I don't remember whether that was slated for Charlie or me. So we just dove into it. But they all need the same treatment.
Yeah, I was just checking out the coding on the headlines. Go ahead.
Yeah, so let's see what I said here. And user make. Okay, it was Joe to edit. So that's fantastic. You've helped me with my work. So Joe is ahead of Charlie by 1, thanks to Charlotte's help today. You don't know it's done. This is Peeragogy in action, but it's always been like that. If you show up to the meeting, people will help you with your stuff. So. Yeah.
I mean, it's good. I've never really sensed that we've had any conflict about someone intervening with stuff that we've created.
Because I think most of it's shared. So it's like, yes, I think that if one part, it's not like it's actually a competition. Although I want to be in a friendly competition for something with Charlie from time to time. So
yeah, that's always a good incentive.
But yeah, so it's the same thing for all of them, and I would say feel free to have free reign over this. You're a co-author equal to anyone else on this co-authoring thing. So if you want to dive into others, if you find yourself with a spare minute over the next time, you see what it means to improve them. So including this one or the other ones we've been over, like we've improved this one. There's many others that are less improved than this. And that's another thing that reminds me about user make. Never forget the power of making backups. I think we should include that in this, because like if yes, I trust you to make improvements, but you can trust yourself even more if we have a backup. So it's like there's no chance of deleting your work if you make backups. So I'm going to add that
or losing an idea, that somebody may not have fully considered.
Yeah, make backups so that you. person.
Okay, so I will. I'll take in another section, and maybe we ought to remind people to, in the community to visit this. And can they email you for or contact you for access or
Shared content. Anyone else can join. It's close to the last minute, so hopefully they will do it sooner rather than later. But if they don't want to join as a full author, they can join as a thank you very much for having a look and breathing some life into it kind of thing. That's up to them. So yeah, I've certainly thought of Doug as well.
Yeah, right. I forgot about including him, but I think if you remind people, then if we share this hangout, and people can skip through and just see what we did and how we did it, and I think might kind of give them a little template for making changes.
Yeah. And I think this link which you have is a public link, so anyone who clicks on it can see it, and if they want to then dive in and edit or comment, I think they'll need permission to do that. But
okay, this URL up here, this one, I can just copy this.
Yeah, that
okay.
Just go along with this.
All right.
Yeah.
Good. Well, are we ready to rock and roll off to the rest of our day?
Call it a wrap. Yeah, let's call it a wrap. But I feel good. We've made progress towards a vital goal. We've got 1 week left, which is like just about the right amount of time. I might do.
You want to grab the chat? I don't know if we really had anything too significant,
but we might want to. Let's try to follow up with. I'll follow up with Dilrukshi and just say, hey, thanks for trying to join. I'm sorry about the technology.
Yeah, and Julia did want us all to visit her try week 0 of the minimally massive open online course.
Yeah, I think I can have a look. Maybe not today, but soon. So yeah, we'll do. Okay, so yeah, I've copied that.
Okay, I'll end the broadcast, and again, the Google Plus community, Peeragogy@gmail.com, or Peeragogy is our Twitter handle. Just really easy to get a hold of anyone involved with the project. Thank you. Thanks for joining. Bye.